Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for being here. I am Preston Clark.
And I'm Electra Japonas.
Today marks the most exciting product launch in Law Insider's 12-year history. We're rolling out a suite of AI-powered contract review and drafting tools, and starting now, all pro and premium subscribers to Law Insider have full access. You can start using everything we're going to show off today right now directly inside Microsoft Word. We'll share a link with access instructions. Dory will do this in just a minute in chat. If you'd like to follow along during the live demo portion, we welcome and encourage you to do that. This means that you'll have the Word add-in installed. Many of you, a couple of hundred of you have done this already, so we thank you for that. Before we dive into the features, I want to take a moment to share a bigger picture, the why behind this launch. This isn't just another AI contract tool. It's a step towards something much bigger for our global community. And this is really important to me. We are democratizing AI in legal, and how we're able to do that is because Law Insider is reflective of all of the places that you all are from. Serves over 1.2 million registered users, legal professionals around the world. And this launch today is about giving every one of you, regardless of your firm size or budget, access to the same AI tools that were previously only reserved for big law and enterprise legal teams. By bundling enterprise-grade AI into our existing subscription, we're removing the barriers of cost and complexity. And how we do this is a combination of factors that are represented on this slide that I think are very important. So I want to highlight these quickly, and then we'll jump in to the product itself. So to start, it's through our integration with OpenAI that we're able to use best-in-class artificial intelligence to power your contracts, to power review, to power drafting. But it's also through our integration with Law Insider's vast database that most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with, that we're able to optimize OpenAI against a database of millions of contracts and millions of clauses. My friend Nate is on this webinar today, and I'm sure he's head nodding and smiling as I'm saying these words. But it's also through our partnership with SimpleDocs, our sister organization that delivers AI-powered contracts to some of the largest companies in the world, that we have access to a software layer that you're going to be introduced today that is native now to the Law Insider Word add-in. That in total, these three things together delivers enterprise-grade security, SOC 2 and GDPR compliance. Yes, that means we're not training on your data. An incredible flexibility, advanced configurations and setup, and it's also incredibly accessible, both in terms of its usability and, of course, in terms of its price point. Because if those of you, many of you who are here who are already paying for Law Insider have full access to this today. So we're so thrilled to be sharing this with you. Electra, I know that this is a big point for you, so I want to give you a moment to share your perspective on what this means.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this launch and the fact that we're able to bring AI to the masses effectively, something that, as you said before, Preston, has been reserved to the few. And that's kind of indicative of our profession, right? That is how our profession works. It's almost cultural for us. But what really excites me is that this is more than just a new product. I think what we're doing here marks a shift in how contract professionals work. And as you'll see in today's session, and as Preston walks you through the product, the way we review contracts is changing really quickly, and the skill set that we're going to need as lawyers is evolving with it in a really good way. And I just wanted to address this because I've just come off the back of two conferences, Legal Week in New York and then Future Lawyer in the UK. And I sensed this anxiety in the air as everyone talked about AI. And there were lots of questions around whether this type of tool is going to replace lawyers or somehow erode our profession or the value that we're able to give to our clients and to our organizations. And I just want to say that they won't. So what these tools are going to do and what this tool is going to do in particular is push us to level up as lawyers. We're going to have to start codifying what's been stuck in our heads or buried in playbooks that maybe were documented in spreadsheets if we're lucky. And that's how we're going to now finally be able to scale our expertise across our teams. And this is how in-house lawyers are going to do more with less. You know, the famous saying, how we're going to do more with less. This is how we're going to do more with less. And this is how private practice lawyers are going to deliver more value to their clients. So for me, this is a really exciting evolution. I feel really lucky to be at this stage of my career, to be able to witness this evolution firsthand. So with that, I'll hand back to Preston to show you exactly how this all comes to life in the product.
Thank you for that, Electra. Yeah, we've so much energy and work. I feel like this is like 10 years in the making. So I'm just sort of want to just sit here and look and see that there's, 700 people on this today. And I'm so proud. Like I almost tear up. Like it's such a big deal. We've come so far, and to be able to give this to you all today, I hope that you are half as excited as I am, and maybe you'll even be more excited. The big questions that you have, I want to get these out of the way. So as we go through the product, these things may be sort of burning questions for you. We do not train on your data. So right away, we have documentation, it's in our terms. And so if you need to share this with your due diligence teams, because of the partnership with Simple Docs that sells to large publicly traded companies in the Middle East, in Europe, in the US, financial institutions, we're very used to having to navigate those rigorous standards. So happy to provide documentation, both in terms of what we do with your data, which is nothing, as well as SOC 2 and GDPR compliance information. Affordability, accessibility, I've already spoken to it. You can go to lawinsider.com, go to the pricing page. You'll see the pricing towers there. If you do not have a premium or pro account through the month of April, so for the next 20 days, you can access all of the features. This will go away. You will have a limited access from there on, so you can still use the tool, but there'll be more gates, there'll be more restrictions on the volume of use. So if you're excited by what you see today, we encourage you to start using it and testing it out. Incredibly easy to implement, literally zero implementation. In many respects, what Electra and I are going to do today is give you a tutorial. So we'll show you the strengths and the features and the capabilities, but we'll do it, or at least we'll try to do it in a very instructive way that gives you a sense of how to start using it yourself. How do we compare with competitors? We get this question more than I would like to admit. I think that we explained it. I think Electra explained it on the previous slide, but there's this really interesting aspect, which is Law Insider has a massive community of both customers and users. We're privately funded. We're not venture backed or private equity backed, which means that we can price it in whatever way the economics work for us. But our economics are literally different than everyone else's because we already have an install base. And so we can take something to market that has mass distribution without charging $150, $200, $300 a month. The combination, though, of OpenAI and Law Insider's database is perhaps the biggest differentiator. And this is going to manifest in the product in massive ways. It has already, but this is just going to compound, whether it's through Electra's increase in her standard playbook library that is growing every day, or in the ability to reduce hallucination and spot check anything that you're doing from both a drafting perspective and a review perspective against the what's market standard of Law Insider. So these are competitive differentiators that allow us to go to market in a much bigger way, in a much more accessible way, but also qualitatively, we believe, in a superior way. And all of this lives inside Microsoft Word, and we're super excited about it. So without further ado, high-level framing. So we're going to do a live demo today. We'll show you how it works. We'll show you under the hood, so to speak. But let me take 5 or 6 minutes just to frame what is here. I think that this is good orientation. I'll apologize if you're already a power user of the tool. This part will be a little bit obvious, but we will quickly from here get into the product itself. AI Assistant, Playbooks, Draft. AI Assistant means inside the Word add-in, you have the capability to ask for anything. You can ask for summaries. You can ask for it to redline and make sure that choice of law is California, or make sure that your term length is 3 years, and it will go in, analyze a document, give you the information back, or propose changes depending on what you have requested. The playbook capability is my single favorite. It is, as you will see today, it is, uh, I think it is the most powerful aspect of this product. And it is so powerful because where our sister company, SimpleDocs, started was at the enterprise for large in-house teams that needed sophisticated capabilities to not only have off-the-shelf expert developed standard playbooks, but also the ability to build custom playbooks, whether that was on the fly, just in the moment. I know the 5 things I care about with an NDA. Let me codify that in the tool, or something that is much more systematic, much more spreadsheet based, but now living inside our tool. So I'm really excited to share that with you today. And then, gosh, the ability to draft. So we're launching some of these capabilities at lawinsider.com. You may have tested them already. These capabilities are now being pushed into the AI review tool. So instead of copying and pasting and switching between your browser and Word, this now is going to live inside the Microsoft Word add-in experience, where you can draft, score that clause, pull it over into the document, and continue with your drafting exercise. So these are the core features. There's a whole lot more layered beneath this that we'll talk about today, but at the high level, this is what we're offering. And of course, to be redundant, all of this is in Microsoft Word. So I'm going to ask Dory one more time to post a link with instructions. So again, we're getting close now to the live demo portion of today. If you would like to follow along, we encourage you to do so. Dory will provide the link. It's lawinsider.com/welcome. There's download instructions. There's a wonderful video there that's a tutorial. Don't watch that yet, because I'm going to show you a live version. But everything is there that you need. You're welcome to share that with your colleagues as well. Okay. The AI assistant, we're going to see this live today, incredibly powerful. It allows you to interface directly with the document, highlight your risks, the things that you want to be changed or modified, make sure that this doesn't have an auto renew provision, make sure that choice of law is X, Y, or Z, give me a summary of this agreement, identify the risks that are found in this agreement. Oh, and by the way, now do this in Spanish, do this in French. So the capabilities of this are astonishing, and so I encourage you to start testing it out. Playbooks, as I mentioned, we're going to build a playbook together today. It'll be a short one. Yours will be much longer, but the ability to live build playbooks or leverage existing expert standard playbooks that Electra and her community have built is an incredible superpower for this product. And then and these we're going to keep adding. Electra, I don't know if you want to take a minute to talk about this, but we have, thanks to Electra, we're the leader in contract standardization for NDAs and other types, and we've now transposed these or modified these into playbook guidelines. I'd love, Electra, for you to speak to this portion of the tool.
Sure, yeah. So when we develop our standard documents, so oneNDA, for example, has been adopted by over 6,000 organizations now. So the process that we have to use to create these needs to be robust. And as part of that, we ask the steering committee to go through reasoning to figure out what needs to go into a document and what needs to come out of a document. Whereas before, this process was just limited to facilitating the creation of the document, we're now going to revisit this part of the process and use it to create playbooks that then become part of our tool. So these playbooks are going to be steering committee, community backed and vetted. They're not just going to be, us going in and setting out a load of rules that will underpin a playbook. They're rules that come from standards that are community backed and adopted. So I think there's an interesting differentiation between a standards playbook and a playbook that someone might create based on their own template, in that it reflects market standards, not just because we're leveraging Law Insider's data, but also because the community will have had input into these playbooks and can share with us whether they're, community backed or not.
Yeah, that was great. And this will expand. There'll be a combination of standard playbooks and expert playbooks. We encourage you to build your own. You will disagree with some of the community. You'll disagree with some of the standards. They won't be tailored to your exact needs, but they're great starting points. In many cases, great endpoints as well. And then, of course, the ability to draft. As I mentioned, there's a capability of this if you haven't tried it yet. We haven't officially launched it, but it's there, so don't tell anyone. But if you go to lawinsider.com/chat, there's some still raw but really powerful capabilities there that relate to drafting. And this capability is now pulled into the Word add-in in a very elegant way that we're very proud of. And so we encourage you to try this inside Word as well. And I'll show you what this looks like here in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to pause there. So I see questions coming in. I want to just reiterate a couple of things. Not everyone is going to be successful in downloading the Word add-in today. You may have IT parameters that block you from doing so. We don't want to frustrate you. It's totally okay if you can't participate live as we go through this today. We'll do follow-up versions of this event. This is very early in the morning for West Coast, so we're going to have to do this again anyway. So don't be discouraged if you can't participate live, but of course, if you're able to, we would love for you to do so. Electra, as I get the demo ready, any sort of bridge comments or anything else you want to share with the group?
I think that, yeah, if you can download it and go through it with us, that would be great. Otherwise, I think it's just valuable for you to see how it works and then take your time to do this by yourselves. I'm seeing some really interesting questions that are coming through, though, and I wonder whether, while you bring that up, Preston, whether we can answer a couple of them, particularly with regard to security. I know that you mentioned it at the beginning of the webinar, but could you just reiterate how security works and where the data goes once someone hits review?
Yeah, so I am sharing the screen now. Electra,
Yeah.
can you see this okay? Let me
Yes, I
expand this
can't
just.
see the word add-in bit at the top, which is where people need to hit to download
Okay,
the
yep,
add-in.
let me
That's
get you
it.
there. Okay. Um, okay, so to answer your question, the Data Privacy Trust Center and FAQs, this is powered by SimpleDocs, our sister company, our enterprise AI review product, of which I am the CEO. So these are very closely structured organizations, and they exist separately because, as many of you may appreciate, it's very difficult and very distinct to serve an enterprise, a large organization, a publicly traded company, versus what Law Insider has historically done, which has been an e-commerce driven business that is selling lots of ones and two seats. GDPR compliant, SOC 2 compliant. We do not train on the data. It's stored on AWS Ireland. And we're not, to reiterate, we're not using any of your data for training purposes, nor is it being stored. So that is the short answer. Later on in the presentation, after I go through the demo, we're going to share some more specifics on that. But we have detailed documentation, irrespective of what I share with you today. For many of you, or for some of you, there may be an AI task force within your organization. There may be a due diligence team that literally needs someone to populate 30 questions in a questionnaire. So we're happy to jump through any hoops that you may need, but I'll leave it at that for now.
Cool.
Okay, so I've given you an orientation already through slide format. We are now inside the tool. You can authenticate with your Law Insider account, almost like single sign-on would work. So the home screen, if you don't have a free Law Insider account, if you're a part of Electra's oneNDA community, or if someone shared this event with you today, and you're like, gosh, I've never even used Law Insider, you can, through this month, create a free account. So install the Word add-in. It'll prompt you to create an account, and within seconds, you can have an account and be inside the tool. If you already have one, you'll see a big login button. If you're already logged into your Law Insider account, it'll just confirm, or you'll need to log in with your password. But in any event, very, very quickly, you should be at a screen that is reflective of what I have here. So what do I have? I have a mutual non-disclosure agreement to the left. If you say, hey, gosh, Preston, you're going to use a mutual NDA, the layup of agreement types, sure. It's easy to demo, but I encourage you to test it because there is a free version available. And so if you want to try to break this tool, I invite you to do it, share the feedback. I bet that you can. But it is wonderfully powerful, and I encourage you to start using it. For our purposes today, we're going to look at a mutual NDA. So AI review is incredibly powerful. I'll show you what it looks like in a moment, but effectively what it does is it allows you to build a playbook based on a combination of OpenAI and Law Insider for a new agreement type for which you do not have a playbook and for which we do not have an expert playbook. I know it's like, what are you talking about, Preston? But in the event that you're like, I just have an agreement, I don't have any playbooks, you don't have a playbook for it, where do I get started? The AI review is where to do that. It's going to build a custom playbook from scratch against this document. I'm going to show you that in a couple of minutes. Playbook review is a combination of things. So let's jump in here. It is both the standards playbooks that Electra mentioned. So I have oneNDA, I have oneSaaS, I have expert agreements or MSA and vendor agreement. We expect this library to grow to over 50 by the end of the year. So you're going to start to see more and more playbooks emerge here in the weeks and months to follow. And then, of course, you can have your own custom playbook library that I'm going to show you how to do in a moment. So first things first, with a standard playbook like oneNDA, what it allows me to do is say, gosh, this is how I negotiate. oneNDA is a really good standard that I believe in. I have my mutual NDA up. I'm going to go ahead and start my review now. Let me regenerate this one here quickly. And it's going to take 5 seconds, 10 seconds to process. In this agreement, in this playbook, there are 19 distinct issues that Electra and the oneNDA committee have created. And they range from things that are very specific, like jurisdiction or confidentiality period, all the way to something like this, which is, hey, the rule of oneNDA is that non-solicitation are not accepted. And so if I go to this portion of the agreement, so I can click on this box, it takes me to now clause 14 where this exists. And in this case, it's going to strike the whole portion. Now, as I mentioned, this may not be your rule. So you may disagree and say, no, 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 we're okay with that. Well, that's fine. You can always override these playbooks. And of course, you can always build your own, which I'll show you in a moment. But it's wonderfully powerful in applying red lines instantly for issues that govern how you negotiate any specific agreement type, NDA or other. I'll click on a couple more. I see governing law. I can click on this section. It'll take me, in this case, it's section 9, choice of law. It looks like our default is New York. It's listed as California. And so I can apply that immediately. And so what you're seeing here, okay, term length, this is good. It's saying it's listed as 4. Our default apparently or it's listed as 6. Our default is 4. So again, I'm going to click on it. It'll take me to that section of the agreement. I can apply this. And now it is immediately implemented that modification. So within a couple of minutes, you can work through any given playbook. Your custom playbooks may be more complicated than this. You may have more issues to identify. You may not agree with all of the issues that are inside the oneNDA playbook, but this is a really good starting point, and it's also a really good introduction to the tool. Electra, anything you want to add on this?
I think what you're showing now, Preston, just is so clearly a way to really scale the way that we review contracts. So you've got a set of rules. These rules are not an exact mirror of what's in the document. So, for example, oneNDA doesn't say anything about penalties, but there is a rule in here that says that liquidated damages are not suitable for an NDA. So if there were any liquidated damages, this playbook would pick it up. So yeah, this is a way for you to go through the document and very just automatically apply any changes that need to be made.
Great. I'm looking at a couple comments. Okay, let me show. I want to show you my single favorite part. Um, and then hopefully this will answer some of the questions that are coming in. So I'm going to create a new playbook right now on the fly. We're going to call this Electra's cool NDA playbook. The agreement type is NDA. And this is how fast, like, please do this today. If you have the tool, do this, because I know that for probably 2 or 3 agreement types, you have the rules in your head. And you're probably using those rules in your head to do this process. And no offense, but you're probably applying it inconsistently. So let's codify these together today. I'm going to go ahead and add a new rule. First rule I'm going to add is term, and I'm going to use natural language. This is the power of AI. I'm not creating 37 if-then scenarios. I'm not loading in sample language. I'm literally going to say, our default term length is 1 year. Sorry, let's do 3 years. And I'm going to say we accept between one and, or let's say between 2 and 4. I'm hesitating because I know we just negotiated this down to 4, so that maybe I'll do 2 and 3 so that it flags it properly so we can re-redline this. It also has the ability to add comments, which hopefully you'll love. So as a matter of policy, this is our required term length. I know that's not the language. You're going to use much more flowery language or thoughtful language than that. But just like that, now I have created a rule. Let's do one more. Again, you saw Electra's oneNDA playbook had 19 rules. I'm not going to create 19. I'm going to create 2. But this is how you can build your own. Let's do choice of law and say our default choice of law is Florida. We also accept Washington, whatever it may be. And similarly, I can add a comment. In this case, I won't. I will note here that where it says response type, I have the ability to make this a suggestion instead of a red line. You probably intuitively understand the difference between that, but in the event that I switch this to a suggestion, this is what I would use for something like, tell me if the definition of confidential information is not sufficiently broad. And so what it's going to do is it's going to flag that section of the agreement. It's going to analyze it and it's going to say, hey, take a look at this. This may not be sufficiently broad. Things that require a degree of discretion, that are harder to codify, that are more judgment based, but that nevertheless you want to be identified to streamline the review process. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to leave this as red line because it's choice of law, which is a binary. It should be, we accept this, we don't accept that. But this is sort of an advanced configuration within the tool. So I'm going to go ahead and create that rule. We now have tool. We now have 2. We have term. We have choice of law. I'm going to go ahead and save and run, and it's going to run this now against the agreement. Electra's cool NDA playbook. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. It immediately identified that this agreement has been redlined. So yes, we review red lines. So if you got this back, you can still interface with the document. In this case, it's highlighted that we need to change this to 3. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that change, and it's going to modify the red line with a new red line. In the event where it was a different party, of course, that history chain would be tracked. And it's going to switch New York to Florida. So we'll go ahead and apply that. And so just like that, I have built a playbook, I've run the playbook and applied it. It's giving me now 100% compliance score, and we're off to the races. So I want to pause there, see if there's any reactions. I want to go into the AI assistant. I want to go into drafting, which I'll do in a moment. But if there are questions coming in, I'm going to pause to take a look at them.
Some really great questions in the Q&A. Just so everyone knows, I'm trying to answer some of the questions by typing where I think that the question is quite specific, but we'll also answer a load of FAQs at the end of this session as well. So if I haven't answered, then that's probably because we're going to answer your question a bit later, so everyone can see what the response is.
Okay, this is great. Yeah, and we will, yeah, Rory, yeah, there are scenarios where the document is locked, where like so in other words, if you can't redline in Word, we can't override that. And so it's always worth if you're running the tool and it's not producing, if it's not transposing, Rory, to use your word, the red lines into the document, that may actually be a setting with that document in particular where it's locked, or it may be a setting like you still like, for example, for me to track red lines, I have to have red lines turned on in Microsoft Word. So there are some aspects of this where you need to have Microsoft Word set up in your normal drafting format in order to use the tool. trying to see if there's anything else. Aha, yes, Maria, we're going to talk about document comparison in a few minutes. This is a feature that is launching in about 2 weeks. We're super proud of. So we're actually going to show in about 10 minutes, we're going to show the roadmap because it's crazy. We have so many features coming. So already very proud of the product, but a ton more coming off the line in the next few weeks. Um, uh, Okay, so let me hop over to chat. This is where the AI assistant lives. A couple of things I can do. I can draft, I can redline. Let me start with the redline experience. I know that I'm keeping these like very simple use cases, but let me just say, make sure choice of law is New York. Now, I know that that's going to be problematic because in this case, it's not in this agreement, but this allows you to just go into an agreement and say, I got to find some stuff. I got to make sure this isn't there. And if it's there, I got to remove it. And so this could be a case where there's just one or two things you're always looking at for an agreement, very basic, low risk agreement for your organization, but you got to make sure choice of law is there. You got to make sure, whatever it is, this is a really fluid way to interface with the document. So what I just did is I wrote, make sure choice of law is New York. They're like, nope, it's not. It's Florida. And so it's actually proposing a red line. I think that this is brilliant. I hope that you think it's brilliant. I can literally press apply now, and it's going to go in and override that red line that's already there and change it to New York. So this is a wonderful way to interface directly with the document and modify changes in real time, but in a way that is outside of the playbook context. Okay, drafting. This is wonderful. So this is an area where the Law Insider integration is just going to get better and better. And so what you will start to see is the clauses will have scores tied to them. This isn't live today, but it's going to be live in the next few days. And what this means is that anytime an AI-driven or generated clause is created, it's going to bounce that off of the what we call the Law Insider Index, and so it'll give you a score, and it'll show you similarly drafted clauses across the Law Insider database. So if you sort of want to say, "Gosh, I don't, this indemnification clause looks odd to me," you'll be able to compare it against it. What's incredibly powerful is that I can also say, "Please give me an indemnification clause in Spanish." And not only is it going to do that, what's coming soon is this will also be compared against the Law Insider database, which has thousands and thousands of Spanish language contracts as well. And so we'll continue to have this ability to bounce off the LLM generated content with the Law Insider database. In this case, I've now created indemnification clause in Spanish. I can insert a cursor. I don't recommend mixed language contracts, but for illustration purposes, hopefully that excites some of you. Test the boundaries. So you're welcome to ask me if we do this in French, Arabic, and Italian, and I think that the answer is categorically yes. But you should test it and see for yourself. And then, of course, as the Law Insider capabilities come online, you'll be able to compare those against the Law Insider database in those languages as well. Okay, I'm going to pause here on this. Yeah, so Muhammad, on OCR and PDFing, upload is coming soon, and so you will be able to upload and compare. We're also going to make PDF uploads available through lawinsider.com. So our belief is that you don't want to OCR inside Word, meaning like let's not convert here. If folks disagree with that, we'll build that too. But where we're going to be starting is you'll have the ability to upload a PDF to lawinsider.com. We'll convert that, redline it there, process it, and give it back to you. We may also do that here, but if you're already using an OCR tool, then perhaps you just do that and then use the review tool as it is here. We're trying to make everyone's life as easy as possible without overbuilding any features or capabilities. I'm going to look at some questions here. Alexa or Electra, anything you want to interject on this one?
I think that there may be a conflation between review with AI and review on the basis of a playbook. So there are two things that you can do with the tool. In the first instance, if you don't have a playbook, you can hit review with AI, and then this will just use our system to review your document based on a set of best practice rules. This will be good enough, it will be a good starter. But to get the best output, you will want to use a playbook. And a playbook is a much more robust set of rules that, if you created it, will reflect your own preferences, your own risk appetite. So I'm seeing lots of questions about whether we have security documents or whether we have the capability to review family law type agreements. This tool can review any type of agreement under any jurisdiction. It can have any favorability, so it can be buy side or sell side or one party or the other, because the review will happen on the basis of your playbook that you can create super easily. I've seen a really nice feature request here, which is whether you can import a playbook in docx or Excel and get it to create a playbook for you. That's not available now, but that's a great feature request. And
No, it's on the roadmap. So I'll show that to everyone. I think it's 3 weeks away. But yeah, you'll be able to both upload a document that is a template where we will extract any rules that are available, as well as just upload a document with a bunch of rules that says, jurisdiction X, term Y. So yeah, both of those capabilities are coming.
yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm still seeing a few security questions. There is no concern around the security and privacy of your documents because we do not share them with other users. Just on that, just to
Yeah,
reiterate.
and Eric, hopefully Electra answered the question relative to what is a playbook. I think that's a good one, but let me sort of reframe this, that the AI review, and I know this is like orientation to a new product that we look at all the time that you've never seen before. So some of this is going to be redundant, and that's what's needed. So we'll have great tutorial videos to share back. If you missed something today, or if something's not quite clear, you will get great resources as a follow-up to help you get the most out of this tool. But the AI review is literally a contract you've never seen before, for which we do not have a playbook. You can run it. I'm going to run it in just a second and show you what it looks like. Playbook review is where you have in a playbook. Either it's one that you've built yourself, you just saw me build one, or it's one of Electra's standard playbooks. And again, this library is going to be expanding dramatically over the coming weeks and months. So if none of those are suitable, then I can start here. And what this allows me to do is to take any agreement type. These are optional fields, but I can indicate which party I am. I'm the customer, I'm the buyer, I'm the lessor, I'm the lessee, whatever it may be. I'm going to leave these blank for our purposes. And then if you have any specific concerns, this is optional. So if you're like, gosh, I'm looking at this lease agreement and there's a certain sort of escalator clause that I want to make sure. I'm not a real estate attorney, so maybe that's a poor example. But if there's some specific language that you'd always want to look for, you could put it here. But that's not necessary. So let me go ahead and start review. And sorry, my camera is following me all around except where I want it to be. I can't fix it. It's so funny. Okay. Mostly good. I'll scrunch down here a little bit. So what's happening right now is it's literally building a playbook against this document. And it's going to mirror the playbook structure we've seen with Electra standard playbooks and the custom one that I just built. And so you're seeing the same compliance bar on side. Up top, it's saying what percentage of how compliant is this document based on a standard. Now, again, these are AI powered. They're not your custom playbooks. You're going to want to modify it. They're not even Electra standard playbooks. And so, your priority should be build your own, because that's exactly what you need. Use one of the standards because those are expert developed. And then sort of last resort is to use the AI, because this is another mechanism and perhaps a better starting point than what you might do on your own. So in this case, it has 15 issues. And this is saying, hey, we should include non-solicitation. So this is going against Electra's recommendation. And so this is a great place to get started. Once these are applied, or once these are built, when I go over to Playbook, and this is sort of super advanced feature, right here where it says AI generated, this means that it was generated there. And so, of course, now I can expand this. I can go to the 15 issues we just looked at. I can turn any of them off. Like gosh, I don't care about non-solicitation, so don't review that. Or this is magical. I can expand it and I can modify it. I can change the rule name. I can change the AI instruction. I can switch from redline to suggestion. I can add a comment if I need. So hopefully that makes sense, and clarifies the distinction between AI review and playbooks. I want to pause there. We have about 17 minutes left. We still have more information we want to share. Electra, anything that I didn't demonstrate that you think we should double click on or that we should go back to?
Um, I just wanted to give people some assurance on the prompting piece. So as you saw, Preston just went into a playbook and he created a rule. This is prompting. And this is something that has maybe a scary name because prompting sounds very technical, but I just want to reassure lawyers or contract professionals or anyone who works with contracts that you've already got the skill set to do this job really, really well. The output of this tool will very much depend on the quality of your prompt. So if your prompt is really vague, or the instruction that you're giving your tool, the tool isn't as specific as it needs to be, then the likelihood is that you're not going to get the result that you're looking for. So I just want to make sure that you have assurance around the fact that there is control around this. We're also going to be hosting lots of webinars and we're going to be sharing a lot of content on how to do this really well, some best practices around it. But having done this myself over the last few months, it is quite intuitive and it is quite easy to get good at once you've had a chance to practice it.
Jeff, thank you for saying so. Appreciate that comment very much. I love the questions. You'd only be asking these questions if you were interested. So we're doing our best, but yeah, we'll to reiterate Electra's last comment and to look at one of the comments, there are a couple of the comments that came in. We are going to teach you over time how to build your own playbooks. This is not just how to use Law Insider's AI capability. This is how to prompt for legal, how to prompt for contracts. It is not a skill that any of us went through law school learning how to do. And so I saw someone gave an example where they wanted exact phrasing and the AI paraphrased that instead of mirroring it. We can help you address that. So, but these are things that are not necessarily errors of the tool or errors of the AI. They're also not your errors. There's just figuring out the right phrasing and positioning so that the tool does what you need it to do. We'll pause there. I'm going to switch now back to the slides. If we need to go back, we can do that. So we're not going to go away from the tool forever, but I do want to move back to some information that I think is very important, given that we only have 13, 14 minutes left here. Okay. So free access going forward after the month of April, it's going to be very limited, but very usable too. So you can go in. The exact limit gates will vary, but similar to how lawinsider.com has been an experience for you in the past. If you do too many of X, you get a gate. So we want to make this as broadly accessible as possible while also keeping the lights on and paying our bills. So there is a free tool, a free version, and that's a great way to test and get started. And if you're just using us, once a month, twice a month, maybe the free version is enough. But I think for most of you, you'll find that moving up to premium and pro are necessary to get the value from the tool. The $29 a month premium access is great for individuals. You can use all the capabilities that I walked you through today. The Pro Access is for teams. There are other capabilities, but honestly, all you need to know is that if you are a team account trying to access this, central billing, permissions, who can change and build playbooks, whatever it may be, this is going to only be accessible through Pro. And we're happy to schedule a call and have a discussion on this. And then Simple Docs, as our sister organization, is a CLM. And so, to the extent that what you need is not just an AI review tool, but you need an AI review tool that integrates, that has that has repository storage, history tracking, the ability to create workflow automations, the ability to, upon completion of an agreement, to send and sign immediately. So instead of downloading, converting to PDF, loading into DocuSign, routing it, we have advanced rule capabilities. So there are more advanced CLM light and CLM heavy feature capabilities that integrate into the same review tool that you just saw, that are available through our sister organization at Simple Docs, which may be interesting to some of you, and less interesting to others. We will share these slides. There is a trust center at trust.simpledocs.com. And again, to reiterate, if you go into the Word add-in, as I showed you a couple of moments ago, as I'll show you right now, at the footer where it says powered by Simple Docs, data privacy, trust center, FAQ, this is where you can get more information. But Simple Docs is powering the AI review for some of the largest companies in the world. So I trust that we will meet your standards. And I don't want to gloss over that. I suspect that we won't answer all of your questions on the call today, but we feel very comfortable, given the types of organizations we've served in the past, that we'll be able to meet your requirements as well. I want to pause there, take a minute. We're going to talk about enterprise solutions. We're going to talk about the roadmap. So don't leave. If you want to see what's coming, if you want to see document comparison, upload, I have 3 slides dedicated to what's coming that I desperately want to share with you, because I'm so excited about it. But I want to take a minute to talk about enterprise capabilities. I just have 2 slides here. What this is it's simple CLM. And so if you need more than AI review, this is where the partnership with Simple Docs is so powerful, because you can use everything that I just showed you, but now integrated into a very low priced CLM, flat fee, unlimited access. It's wonderful. We've been working on it for the last 2.5 years. And gosh, we have wonderful customers in all corners of the globe on this, all sizes, financial institutions, pharmaceutical, healthcare, you name it, manufacturing. And so encourage you to raise your hand if you're interested in that. We can schedule a demo and tell you more about that capability. Electra, thoughts, comments, questions, anything you're seeing here that you want to jump in on?
I love all the questions about playbooks. So I've seen the same question reiterated over and over, which is, do we have a playbook for this? Do we have a playbook for that? Thank you for saying all these things, because this is exactly the sort of input that we're looking for from our community so that we can continue to build playbooks that are valuable. Someone suggested that we crowdsource a playbook. This is the future of standardization. So let's have a chat after this. I would love to take this forward with you. And yeah, please keep these suggestions coming.
I'm looking, sorry, I'm distracted as I'm watching the comments.
Yeah, they're so interesting. This is
Yeah,
great, just feedback, because we've been building without all this feedback from so many of you. So super grateful.
I don't have a slide for this. I'm sorry. This is free to edu and .gov. So there should be a slide that sort of, I can drop the mic on that. But if you are a professor, if you are a student, um, if you have an edu email address or a .gov email address, you're going to get all of this for free. And they're like, there's no catch. What did we talk about at the beginning of the webinar? We talked about democratization, and we mean it. And so if you have a domain such as that now, you should be able to access it. If you can't, you can always email us at support@lawinsider.com. There's some institutions that are not set up yet, but we'll make sure that that gets turned on. We're going to do a big splash and announcement about edu and gov in the coming weeks. But if you're on representing one of those today, if you're a professor and you'd like to bring this technology into your classroom, like, let's do it. Okay.
Should we try and go through some of the FAQs?
Yes. Oh,
And what's next? Let's
Yeah,
go.
let me go to FAQs, Electra, and then we'll come back. I want to show the roadmap, but I think we have enough time to do it. Can I
Um,
test it for free? Yes. Create an account, download the Word add-in. There's a create account button. You can be set up in 30 seconds. Yes, we support many teams already. And so if you go to lawinsider.com/billing, you could literally get a team account right now and run it through there and do it yourself. But if you want some support in that, you can go to you can email support at lawinsider.com. And for those of you I just want to restate this. Law Insider has over 11,000 paying customers, like individual customers. Some of those are large teams, some of those are solos. So I promise that we will support any and all of your needs that might relate to account configuration or sort of billing, et cetera. Yes, you can build custom playbooks. I do see a gap in information. I think playbooks may not be as widely understood as we thought it was. So we will provide more documentation about that. But yes, you can absolutely build your own custom playbooks. And hopefully you got a glimpse of that in the demo today. It supports multiple languages. I think you saw some examples of that. I saw some more questions coming in. I saw Brazilian Portuguese. Yes, but please try it. There will be more standard and expert playbooks coming soon. Electra and her team are working quickly on that. Our servers are hosted on AWS Ireland. You install it through Microsoft Word. In the future, a lot of these capabilities will be available in the browser. So if you don't use Word or if you have other sort of, questions or concerns about the capabilities that might exist at lawinsider.com, a lot more is coming there. Um, the integrations, this is a part of the enterprise plan. So if you want e-sign integration, if you want CRM integration, if you want to integrate with a different CLM provider, whatever it may be, these capabilities can be enabled. We do for pro and premium, or sorry, for free and premium, we do provide email support. The Simple Docs Enterprise, of course, is like dedicated account manager, live 24/7 support. So that's sort of a different price point. I saw someone asked about the difference between the packages. Hopefully, the pricing slide gave you some indication that it's free, pro, premium, and enterprise. And enterprise is powered by Simple Docs, and that comes with both another level of support, but also a much different level of CLM capability. And then Law Insider and Simple Docs. I'll sort of indulge for a moment. Um, my name is Preston Clark. I am the co-founder of Law Insider. I started Law Insider uh, uh, about the time I stopped being a lawyer. I was in-house at the University of Miami in 2010. And shortly thereafter, we had this vision to build the largest public contract database in the world. And that led to many, many years of facilitating and delivering that at scale to millions of people across the globe and to 1.2 million registered users. And with the introduction of AI, we saw an opportunity to partner with another business that I've built, which is Simple Docs, which is one of the leading AI-powered contract review and CLM tools serving a global market, and bringing these organizations together from a product perspective is what allows us to give this all to you as a part of your pro and premium plan. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it's just wonderful news. Why didn't Law Insider just build this itself? Like, there's all these sorts of like business questions that we can talk about. Wonderfully complex to build a business, whether it's a software business or retail or other. But this was the right decision for us, and this is the right way to go about it. And it's what enables us to give you enterprise level capabilities inside the Law Insider experience and inside the Law Insider subscription. So I do want to take a minute to give you a sneak peek. I'm going to take like 30 seconds on this. We're going to send this out. So scan this, grab a screenshot of it if you want. But these features are coming in between the next 2 and 6 weeks. So we're moving very fast. These will be pushed live. User-generated clause library. So you're going to be able to build the way you use lists in Law Insider today. That's going to integrate so that you can build your own default. Someone was asking about sort of specifics of what types of clauses are generated. You can have your own clause library. So if you always use the same indemnification clause, it'll be able to pull that in. Um, Formatting and reference handling. Someone asked about that. We're going to get much, much better at this in future versions. Enhanced chat and GPT features. Document upload for AI context. So you can upload an agreement or upload a set of instructions and use that to govern or to build a playbook. This I'm really excited about. Template management. This is where you can literally have your templates here, like an offer letter template, and just type in, say, I need an employment or I need an employment offer letter, John Smith, date of birth, XYZ, such and such. Chat, put that into the AI assistant. It'll immediately populate it against your template. So that's coming soon too. God, so much stuff is coming. Back end support for redlines. This will happen at lawinsider.com. Web-based contract review dashboard. It's so wonderful. I'm so proud of this product. I hope everyone's excited about it. I know I am. So we're going to leave you here. Lawinsider.com/welcome. Dory, if you don't mind putting that back into the thread. I know it's like the thread keeps getting pushed up because so many people are on this today. simpledocs.com/book-demo. I saw a few people indicated that they're interested in CLM. That's what's powered by SimpleDocs. But if you like what you saw from Law Insider and you want to get started, go to the welcome page. That's the best place to start. And if you want to talk more about the other capabilities that are enterprise related, CLM related, we'd love to talk to you about that. So you can book from that URL listed there. And I think Dory Lord put that into the chat. Electra, any closing thoughts, comments, anything you're seeing that you want to react to?
Just amazing questions, one of which is, can you share the answers to these questions in the chat after the webinar? Yes, we will collate these and put together a big FAQ, and we will share it with you after this webinar. And I see lots of people asking about the enterprise version. So as I said to some of you when I typed the answer, that's the link there for you to book a demo so that you can see what we can do beyond the word add-in review feature.
Bruno, yes, SimpleDocs is absolutely a separate subscription. So this is an enterprise product, primarily designed for in-house teams. Okay, we're gonna send the recording out. We're gonna send the slides out. We're gonna send the FAQ out. We're gonna track all of the questions that came in and put those in a comprehensive document and email them back to you. If you have questions, you can email me at preston@lawinsider.com. You can email Electra@lawinsider.com. And we'll see you next time. More trainings, more tutorials, more launches coming in the weeks and months ahead. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.